Hi there, it's Christina Elpers, and I am here making a video for my 10-minute tech tools. And here is a list of my tech tools that I'm going to be going over. And let's start with what I'm using now to make the video, which is Screencast-O-Matic. So this is the website. It's online. It's really easy to make your own videos, and then I normally either save them or upload them to my Google Drive. It's really handy for the flipped classroom to make some, quick lessons that I want my girls to watch outside of class. I've also used it to make videos for some professional development that I led. My second tool is Remind 101. It's a texting service that allows me to text my students. I think you could use it really for younger kids, probably for parent communication, and since I teach high school, I have used it to talk to my students directly. We are on block scheduling, and so I only see my students every other day, and so sometimes I want them to remind them what they need to bring to class or that they have a quiz or something like that. And so this is some idea of all the texts that I would send to my students. The other thing is that I have found, and is really, really cool, is this thing called Ed Canvas. Ed Canvas is a kind of like you could do like a storyboard. You make your own. It's really user-friendly, easy to do. I made one to introduce a unit on negative exponents, and I happen to only use images, but you can upload links or video or whatever you like. There's lots of different templates, and then when the students view it, they click play, and it goes through in order, and here you can see where I've added text up here, but they can even respond if you wanted to do it as if it was an assignment. And you can go through, you can upload documents and all those type of things. So it's a really cool website, easy to use, and also useful for the flipped classroom as well. My fourth tool would be Quizlet. And Quizlet, I don't know, you may have heard of it. A lot of my students like to use it to study for tests. They have it like as an app on their phone or something like that. But what's really cool is they can use it to make their own, like, basically flashcards would be easiest. But even if they don't feel like making their own and we are learning a new concept like slope, I can have them go and find some Quizlet that's already been made on slope. And then here's, somebody who's made flashcards and they have 2 points and you have to use the slope formula and they have the answers already and they can quiz themselves on slope and that kind of thing. So Quizlet's really handy for the students to use. I may assign it as like a little in-class activity, set up a Quizlet or go to Quizlet and find some problems using this. My fifth tool is the National Library of Virtual Manipulatives, and it happens to have many different visual activities that you can do that kind of bring home different math topics. And they're very interesting, and you can drag things and move things and all that kind of stuff. So it's really, really fun to use, and the students like it in class. Kind of changes it up a bit. My sixth thing is VoiceThread, and the way I use VoiceThread, I used it for a project in class, and I had the students, I uploaded it, it's just a document, but I told them that I wanted them to do the project outside of class, and that if they had questions or issues with any part of the project, that they had to come to VoiceThread and submit their questions that way. So many of the students did exactly that. If they had a question, they would upload the question to VoiceThread. They could type it in, they could record their voice, and then I would then respond or something like that. So it turned out really, really good. They were able to do the project pretty much out of class independently, and was a good opportunity for them to kind of stand on their own 2 feet. My seventh tool is from a website called Illuminations, and I think it's the National Council for Teachers of Mathematics, and it has a bunch of interactive activities for math and learning different types of math. Very handy, very cool stuff. Everything has where you get to make choices and you get to decide. If you're trying to figure out congruency with triangles, You get to decide what you want to include. You make the triangle. You can change it up. You can use an angle and two sides and those type of things. So it's really fun. They like it. It's something different to do. Here's some tools that my students like to use. One is this one here, which is called Foo Plot. And, you know, in math and algebra, we graph all the time. And so this allows them to be able to graph, like in this case, we graph the function. This is x squared. And so here's what x squared looks like. Well, if I change it to, let's see, where I was going to do the caret. Wait, let me go back. Hold on one second. All right. It's easier if I come back here. Okay. So here is the function x squared. Then I can add to that function. So here, the exact same thing, but now I'm going to see how it changes. Like if I did plus 2, and I would see how that would change by pressing enter. So now I have the original function here, and then the new one here, and we can discuss how did it change. It moved up 2. So maybe when we do plus 2, it changes the location it is on the y-axis. And so we could even change other parts of it as well. Sorry. We could take the exact same function. Instead of doing plus 2, we could make it 5x squared and see what happens to that one. Well, now we have a new one. It's really skinny. So something changed about the width of it. So it's really fun to kind of do it, and we can add on top of each other, which is a little bit easier to do than using a graphing calculator. And we can all look at it together. The other calculator that my students like to use, because they don't want to lug around their calculators, because they all have the tablet computers, laptops, so they like to use the online calculator. And Web 2.0 Calc is really, really good. It has everything they need. This happens to be the graphing calculator, so you can put in like x plus 3 and then hit enter, and it graphs it. So it's a line, shows you where it is. Exactly. And if you want to go in closer to it, because I was noticing the graph's really big, then you can go in closer and see exactly where it crosses the x-axis and that type of thing. They love that. It has a regular scientific calculator as well, if you're in geometry and you're using sine and cosine and those type of things. So this is a really handy calculator that they can use on a daily basis. Although when we have tests, it's important that they still have their graphing calculator, because they can't have access to their computer calculator at that point. I think that's number 9. And number 10 for me is the Google Chrome. If you use Google Chrome, you know that there's apps. There's like a Google Chrome store in the web store, and you can go there, and all these that I have on here are free, but there's like little games and things. So whenever we're trying to like practice a skill or just do whiteboard practice or something like that, to make it more interesting and to kind of keep it motivating, I might make teams, and then depending on which team, you know, whose turn it is, they'll get a turn at Angry Birds. And then if they knock down the bird, then they get, you know, or the, whatever they are, the pigs, then they'll get points for their team, and that kind of keeps them motivated. And it just, you know, it doesn't have to be a game set up for teams or for, you know, learning. You can use the game as the motivation to do all this other stuff that you're doing kind of on the side. So I really like having that opportunity with the Google Chrome and all the apps that they have. So I'm trying to get back to my list here, which is, right, let's see if I can get rid of this. Here's my list. So here's my 10 tools: Screencast-O-Matic for making videos, Remind 101, EdCanvas, Quizlet, National Library of Virtual Manipulatives, VoiceThread, Illuminations, FooPlot, 2.0 WebCalc, and Google Chrome apps. Thank you very much.